Hi, I'm Seth Millsaps. I'm here to talk about technical data trading. And having knowledge in technical data trading actually enhances a trader's skills. And to prove my point, I'll actually will show you this. So here we go. We have a chart. How would you know which way direction is it going to go up, or is it going to go down? I don't know. So by using technical data, it can give you certain guidelines, kind of like a roadmap. Which way is it going to go? Which direction do we need to take here? So, and it enhances your skills by using the technical data. And one of the three best, most used, simplest indicators are the moving average, trend lines, and pivot points, which I'll go over and discuss over that. So here's moving averages, and how moving averages work is there's your price action, and this right here is the moving average, and what it does is based off whatever input you put into it, it will take that number of how many data points you have, and then it'll graph it out against it, the price action. And in this case, this is a 200, so it collected 200 points, and then graphed out an average of the 200 points of where it's been going. And how it works is, it works as like support and resistance. So either it's going to bounce off of it, so you can tell right here it bounces, and right here it bounces, and then it cut through, and then it kind of hit here, wouldn't go through, it's resistance, and then finally went here. So it's used like support and resistance. And what that basically means is how you would trade support and resistance is you would take an enter trade once it bounced off or when it cut through. So like here would be an enter, and here's another enter for going short. And as it cut through here, you would go long, and cut through here, you go short. When it bounced off here, you go short. And that's how moving averages work. And if you read anything by Mike Herman, he talks about how this is one of the most commonly used indicators. Probably one of his favorites too. So with that one, we'll move on to the next. Trend lines. Now, how trend lines work is you just pick the peaks and valleys, and you draw your lines. And it acts like supports and resistance too. So when it bounces off, or when it cuts through, is when you get an entry. So like right here, it cut. The price action cut through it. So that would give you an enter signal to go short in this case. And then once it starts going again, you draw new lines. So right here we'll be waiting for the next cut to go through. That's how this would work. So. And if you want to know more about trend lines, John Hayden has some good resources out there you can read about. And he'll actually talk about how to set it up. And trend lines is knowing determining which way the trend's going to go. And that's how trend lines work. So what we have here is pivot points. And how pivot points work is the price action, as you can see here, and the same thing is its support and resistance. So you would trade once it bounced or when it cut through the lines. So like right here, you go short as it cut, short when it's cut. Here you go short, and then here, as it bounced up off, you take the opposite trade. And if it bounced here, you take the opposite trade type thing. Pivot points have been around for a long time. They were used way back in the pits of the stock market. Kind of gave traders that wrote back on their cards an idea how far price action would move for the day. So like here, probably right here, you pretty much know it's traveled through 3 or 4 lines. It's not probably going to go much more, or it probably wouldn't. So that's how pivot points work. If you want to learn more about pivot points, Peter Bain, he's an expert out there. He's been around writing about them for over indicators, he uses like a 9-point pivot point, and it's different than this one. And there's several different pivot point formulas out there. So that's how pivot points work. Pretty simple. In conclusion, indicators, they're great. They're like your compass, road signs, a map. They help you get where you need to go when you're trading. That's why they're called indicators. Moving averages, trend lines, and pivot points are one of the 3 more common, most used, that really help improve a trader's skills. And hopefully you'll learn some stuff today. Questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Of all those indicators that you had listed there, what's one of the more commonly used ones?
One of the most commonly used ones, moving average. Definitely a simple moving average. Institutions, traders, almost everyone uses that one. It's the more popular one. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have another one. Can you get any like false triggers for from any of those? Like say it bounces off a trend line and it goes up and it really turns around and goes back against you when you're in a trade. Does that ever happen?
Yes. Nothing's 100%. Things can turn around and go against you. So there is, as in anything, risk in trading. So nothing's 100%.